It's First Phase Incorporated, right? It's incorporated by my big bro, right? His name is Ray Ford, right? He started this. He was in prison.
32 years.
Yeah, he did like 32 years in prison. See, what they say, they always show guys who get out of prison that's not successful, right? They want to show that. They hear them show that real quick, but they don't ever show well, brother get out of prison and be successful. This is success. This is success, and all this success came from God and him doing the right thing. And this is a good brother. This brother, I've seen this brother pull. We don't make this short, but I've seen this brother pull homeless people off the streets and brought them in his house, brought them in his establishment, and got them back on their feet. But he worked. This is what we give back. This is First Phase. We give back. We give back to homeless. We give back to guys that's in prison, and we try to treat everybody right. Right. And this is why she asked me what I do. We give back. And instead of taking, we give back this time. Ready?
Yo, what's the deal? It's your host LP. You're rocking with LP Media TV. I just pulled up on my guy Jonny right here. After spending 34 years in prison, he's about to give us his story, the real deal. Shall we go inside?
Some of it.
Some of it. Let's go. Right.
My name is Jonny Smith. I've been formerly incarcerated in California for 34 years for a crime I did not commit.
Okay, Jonny, so what crime? What did they incarcerate you for?
Incarcerated.
What year was that? I'm sorry.
1982. I got incarcerated for a murder robbery.
A murder and a robbery?
The murder robbery. Murder with 3 counts robbery.
Explain. Explain.
Explain the murder robbery?
Like the actual case. What did they think that you did? Where was it? Where did it happen?
Well, I would not disclose that part right there, because still, anything's still possible. I still go past there. You understand? I still go by there. I still be around there. So that's not to be disclosed right now at this moment.
Okay.
It's not nothing personal. It's just for my protection and for the people around us protection also, because they have it to where you're not supposed to be 50 miles, 50 feet to of where the crime happened or the people are the victims. And I don't know if the victims still stay around there or not, so that's not be disclosed right now.
So 34 years in prison for something you didn't do. Does that make the time go by extremely slow? Especially knowing that you're innocent?
Nah. It went pretty fast the first few years, and then everything seemed to start slowing down. Because the first few years in prison, especially at that young age when I was 22, I still was going through so-called adolescent stages, right? Because you don't really develop your become an adult really until you're like 25. Your brains and everything change then, right? But until then, your mentality is still juvenile-like. So, but I kind of grew up fast. You know, I left my mother's house when I was 13 years old, and I lived in the streets, and I did everything under the sun. I was there, right? Gambling, breaking into people's houses, everything under the sun you can think of, selling drugs.
Do you think that everything happens for a reason?
Yes, I do.
Like, do you feel? So, do you regret the time that you did in prison?
Well, not really. At first I did, until I thought about it, until I got a little older, started thinking about it. Because I couldn't understand why was I in prison for something I didn't do, for actually the crime, actually that crime, period. Right? But it turned out, once I started realizing, started thinking, right, because a cell, you can make it 2 ways. You can make it your enemy, you can let the time do you, or you can do the time, right? So I did the time. So that's the difference. And then when I'm in my cell, I utilize it as a think tank, right? So while I was in there, I had a lot of time to think about my past, think about my past and go through my childhood and all that. So I had to go through all this to actually find out who I really am.
Did it feel like karma? that you were in prison?
Like I said, at first, no, because my mentality wasn't there, right? My mentality was, I didn't do this shit, so let me get out of here. I didn't do this. I'm being framed. I didn't do this. But like I said, as the time go by, when you start thinking, you start realizing about karma, and you look what karmatic is, karmatic law, and then you start understanding that this stuff is for real out here. You don't get away with nothing. Nothing you get away with. I don't care what you call it, what you do, you're not gonna get away with it. So you're gonna pay one way or another. The crimes that I did when I was a juvenile, right, breaking houses and all that other stuff, packing guns and ripping and running the streets and stealing cars and gang banging and all that kind of stuff, that just caught up with me. So that's all that was karma. It just came back around.
Right.
And so once I realized that, then I started regretting it. I started accepting my fate. But I always felt that, okay, well, they gave me 34 years. Now, they got caught with everything I did, and if you add the time up, it's way past 34 years. So in actuality, I won. I won. So I came out sweet. And it came out better once I realized who my God was. Right? When I realized who my God was, that's when everything started really changing. I had to realize that it wasn't about the materialistic stuff out there. It's not about this. It's not about the material life. It's not about none of that. It's not about the houses you're living in. It's not about the cars and the fancy clothes you want to wear or the pretty females you're trying to get. It really ain't about none of that, right? But it's about you. It's about you being connected with your spirituality and your Lord, right? All the other stuff will come, but you can't use that. I learned you can't use that as your God. See, once I start separating that materialistic stuff and the women and all this other stuff, the money and all that other stuff like that, that's when everything started working out for me. Because you got to separate that stuff. Did you
sitting in there at 22 and accepting 34 years, did you, was there a point in time where you were like, I probably won't make it out of here? Like a lie, or I just...
Well, I see where you're going with that, yeah. Because there was so much going on, so many racial riots, politics, gang banging, all that stuff like that going on, right? So yeah, I thought about that, and you got to really be on your toes, P's and Q's. And you have to really be on your step of your game, so that you have to be on top of your game, because it's a do or die situation. Especially when I came to prison in 1982, it was a do or die. It's either you're going to do it or you're going to die. Straight up.
Has anyone, just as simple as it sounds, has anyone ever tried to kill you while being in prison?
Well, they had their attempts. There was some attempts, but when I got there, when I came to Folsom, that's why I went to San Quentin first. They transferred me there because it was they had a riot going on with the blacks and the Mexicans. Right, a black got killed by a sergeant. The sergeant let a black kill. Sergeant let a Mexican kill a black, and then they killed the sergeant. Right, and so there was a lockdown from that. Then they transferred me there, but it was already flares going on. So they told me I had to leave because I'd have been part of the problem. So they sent me to Old Folsom. When I went there, stayed there for like 3 months, and the same thing, because when you're in one prison, normally what happened in one prison normally rolls over to another prison, right? So what happened there rolled over to Old Folsom, because they transferred a lot of them guys that was at San Quentin to Old Folsom where I was at. So they brought that mentality and everything over there to that prison. So yeah, and it was going on in there. So I had to watch my back. But when I got there, from me already being on the street and raised on the streets, I already knew a lot of them guys was already there that got there before me. Some guys that was older.
Some allies.
Yeah, a lot of them guys was older than me. They was already there. They was already had set up with different kind of organizations and things like that. But the things that I was doing on the street, right, they knew my mentality, right? So therefore, they wasn't really trying to recruit me into none of their organizations, because I was hard-headed anyway. I was hard. I had authority issues from the beginning. And right now today, but the difference is I got a handle on it now. See, back then I didn't have a handle on it. Got assault on staff, assault on police officers on the street. It didn't matter.
So the stuff you mentioned that during the riots, a guard let some inmates kill another inmate.
Right.
So that okay, because I've never been to prison before, so that's normally stuff that we see on the movies, but that stuff is really going down.
Well, sometimes the movies they stereotype a lot of stuff. So they take stuff and they twist on it, and so they make it seem like it really not the way it is, But actuality,
But guards do have some.
yeah, they do.
A lot to do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. A lot of just like the brother Yogi. About 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, yeah. I believe, this is my opinion, but I believe they had a lot to do with that man getting killed. He's been locked up for 40-something years. He's been in the hole for almost all the time he's been in prison. And they let him out of prison. They sent him to another prison. They let him out the hole, sent him to another prison. And I believe it was like maybe 3 months, 4 months, he got killed.
Yeah, they facilitated.
Yeah,
Something like that.
So they got a lot to do with it. But it was up to me. I'm saying the brothers slipped. I put it on them brothers too. They slipped. But like I say, things is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So his fate was already there. You know what I'm saying? But I think if his security, like we do in prison, right? You said security. You have security everywhere you go, right?
Inmates, as inmates.
Yeah, as inmates. You had your own security. Police got their security. We have our security.
Okay.
Right. Our security is to protect our own. Right. Whether it's a certain gang member, right? They had because everything's separated. Right. Everything's separated in prison. If certain Crips or certain Bloods or certain BGFs was CCOs and all that, however it go, they had their own protection. Right. They don't go nowhere without any protection. Right, and that's because of each other. Sometimes each other, you don't know what the next man thinking about unless it's some kind of peace treaty. But then you got the Aaron brothers, and then you got the SAs, they little cliques. So everybody is securing themselves.
What
right?
I know that prison has different levels. So what level were you on?
Well, I started off at level 4. I stayed in level 4 for like 11 years.
And explain level 4. It's 1 through 4, correct?
Yeah.
Can you just explain the different levels for
Okay.
people real quick?
Level 4. Normally, when I first went to prison, they start off with point system. They had a point system. Once you go to prison, like murders and certain type of robberies and things like that, they'll send you to a level. It depends if you've been to prison before, and you have priors. It's a good chance you'll wind up in a level 4, right? It's a real good chance you're level 4. But first termers, a lot of first termers that wind up, they figure they like I said, you go to a psychiatrist and go to a hookup, right? And they'll evaluate you, and according to your case and your crime, it's okay. Well, he need to be in a level 4. That's the highest level, right? Then if he do right, then you work his way down to a level 3. So level 3 is working your way down towards getting out of prison.
Okay.
Right? So when I first came to prison, they had a level 1.
Started at 4.
Yeah, I started at 4. I went to 3, went to 2. But then they stopped level 1s because I guess a guy named Cooper. This is his last name, Cooper. He was supposed to escape years ago, and he's on death row right now. Been on death row since I've been in prison for some stuff that happened up north. And he's still on death row right now, and there's a lot of politics behind that. Right, I don't believe that dude did it, but that's how I go.
Right, that's how the system.
Yeah, that's how the system is, and they know he didn't do it. They ain't been killed that man, But that's what it is. It is what it is.
Johnny, can you or would you share with us like one of your I want to call it like a scariest moment in prison, or not to use the word scary, but just like a moment. A moment in prison where that kind of like made you, a moment in prison that kind of made you scared.
Well,